All right, guys. Appreciate y'all covering our program. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. We got a lot to be thankful for here at Troy Football. Make sure our guys we'll do a couple community service things. Did one yesterday. We'll do one today. And then we'll do a few things as a team to really just kind of reflect on how much we have to be grateful for in our lives. Grateful to get the win last week against Louisiana Lafayette. Hard-fought win. They're a very talented team, and knew that coming in that they were going to be a very big challenge for us. We'll wrap that up. Offensive Player of the Week last week, Clayton Allendike, had a touchdown catch, blocked well in the run game and in pass pro, and then has played in our shield and our punt team the last 2 years. Went through senior day. Just very proud of what Ollie has accomplished in his time here and what he's meant to our team as a leader. Defensive Player of the Week, Javon Solomon, again. 3 sacks gets you Defensive Player of the Week. Not real hard to do the math there. Special Teams Player of the Week, Quentin Skinner, also a senior. Handled all our snapping duties the last 2 years and has done a great job in that role. Defensive Job Taker of the Week, Jack Chinshu. Jack's going to be a really good football player here. He's currently redshirting. He's allowed to play in one more game in the next couple and still redshirt. But Jack, I think, is going to be a quality football player in this program in the long term. Offensive Job Taker of the Week, Tucker Kilcrease. Did a nice job leading that group. Tucker's been on the travel squad, but really in a game week you can only get a couple guys the meat and potatoes reps with the travel team, and that has been obviously Gunner and Goose. But Tucker's done a great job over there. And then Job Taker of the Week for Special Teams, Robert Bruce. Nathan Harris, John Johnson Service Award. I think this guy's name comes up every week. Is Casey Bradford. Model human being in our program from a character standpoint. Corey McCullough Spirit Award. Jordan Lovett had great sideline energy and great energy all week at practice. Jordan's another one who I think is going to be a really high-level football player here in this program. And then the Workout Warrior of the Week, Billy Gilmore, who's really done a lot of good in his developmental year, his first year in this program. So, like I said, glad to get the win. Good to win at Senior Day at home. Big opportunity this week at Southern Miss. Tough venue, tough place to play. Will be a road trip. Never going to be easy to go get a win on the road. Always a challenge. These guys are extremely talented. You may look at the record and think one thing, but when I look at the tape, there's a lot of their players that are back from last year's team that won 7 games. Frank Gore Jr. is where it starts at running back. He's as good of a running back as there is in all of college football. Jacarius Caston at receiver, really good player. Made some big-time plays against us last year. Ty Mims, who was committed to Southern Miss when I got the job here, is from Mobile. He's a tough one. Yeah, wish he was wearing our colors, not theirs, but he's a really good player. And both those guys are involved in their return game, and they're dynamic. Their other receiver, Latrell Jones, fantastic player. Their tight end, Cole Cavallo, good player. The O-line is really good as well. Scott, their guard, I remember him from last year. A couple of these guys started last year on the O-line, I think 3 of them. And then the quarterbacks, they've played 2. Ethan Crawford is a freshman who can throw the deep ball really well and runs good too. Billy Wiles is a good player in his own regard also. So offensively, they present a lot of issues. Defensively, on the back end, it's like SEC transfer after SEC transfer in their secondary. A couple of those guys I know well. Linebacker, they're very solid and sound. And then up front, they are very big on the D-line. So they're a formidable challenge on both sides of the ball. And the kicking game, they do a nice job. They have returned a punt for a touchdown and a kickoff return for a touchdown. Their coverage units are good. It's going to be a really big task to get a win on the road. So with that, we'll open up to questions.
Hey, John, I did want to look back just for a moment at Saturday's game, because something that I kind of overlooked was they only had 66 rushing yards, and they were averaging like 190. Again, if you just talk a little bit about the depth that's been developed across the offensive front, stopping the run, but also getting back there and disrupting the quarterback like y'all have.
Yeah, Louisiana Lafayette for years has run the football effectively against everybody they've played. And so stopping the run in that game was a big deal. Their O-line, I thought, top to bottom was as good as anybody we had played going into the game. Felt that way leaving the game in a lot of regards. They were playing with a backup center, but he's a really good player too. So big deal to stop the run game against those guys, because that's something that's been their bread and butter. And then a lot of it, once you're able to stop the run and you can force people to get into predictable pass situations, it allows you to pin your ears back and be a little more aggressive with how you call the game. And then it allows our players to get some obvious pass situations to go rush the quarterback. You know, when you're in third and extra long, that's a lot easier down in distance to call for our defensive coordinator, for any defensive coordinator, than it is 3rd and 2. 3rd and 12, a lot of calls look good. 3rd and 2, only a couple look okay. And so I think it allows the play caller and the guys in the field to kind of pin their ears back a little bit more when you get into obvious pass situations. And we got good pass rushers. I mean, Javon Solomon's really good. Richard Jubinor's really good. We're missing Philip Lee right now. He's really good, though. Raymond Cutts is coming on. Buddha is coming on. TJ Jackson. I'm going to miss some names, but, I like our front guys. I think those guys have the ability to create some havoc at times.
Hey, John, it's Jamal in Montgomery. Just about Chris Lewis. Last year, you guys had Rajay, similar size, I guess, in height, but Rajay, of course, was a little bit more filled out. But how much easier does it make play calling in the red zone, especially when you've got a guy like Chris Lewis who stands at 6'4", and you can run the ball if you want to with Kamani, or you can throw one up to him?
Yeah, Chris got some characteristics, like you said, with Rajay, a little different. Chris is longer. He's taller. Actually goes and gets the ball out of the air on the jump ball better. Rajay was a bigger, thicker body that could almost box you out to win the ball, where Chris will go win the ball in the air a little bit more. So basketball analogy, Rajay's Charles Barkley, right? And Chris is maybe somebody that's going to go win the ball out of the air a little bit more, like LeBron. And so, but you have to decide, how do you want to play Chris? You know, are you going to cap him with a safety and have somebody over the top? Or are you going to single him up and give him the ability to get a one-on-one? Because a lot of times 50-50 balls that are thrown his way are more like 75-25 balls, like I've said. And then, two, I'll be honest, I think Chris has been officiated a little bit differently than some receivers. I think they've allowed guys to, hold him and grab him and push him a little more than they usually do. Sometimes I think you get penalized for being a big guy. It's like not his fault that he's a big guy. But it does give us a different dimension, a different weapon to that X position. Landon Parker's made some good plays too. He made a big 3rd down catch the other day. He didn't play well early in the game, but then came on late, which is great to see him have some positivity after maybe not starting the game the best. But having those big receivers that can go make plays on the perimeter definitely creates some mismatch things for people to have to think about how they want to play you.
Coach, Nick Brooks with WTVY down in Dothan. Obviously, just one win away from solidifying, hosting that conference championship. Gunnar said his team's going to play with a little extra motivation this week. Just kind of talk about, being able to watch this team play with that extra motivation that they're obviously bringing up last Saturday. Wanting to play a little more energized than what they had this entire season. Yeah,
I think you can play with great energy, and you have to play this game with great energy, emotion, and passion. It's meant to be played with emotion and passion. I think maybe we can reflect on a couple of times this year we've done that and haven't played our best too, though. So, like Louisiana Monroe, we called it a BYOJ game, bring your own juice on the road. The guys brought their juice. I don't know if they brought their detail at times. So for us, it's about being, having that energy, that passion, that emotion to play the game with edge, and a chip on your shoulder, but then also being very detailed about your alignment, your assignment, your technique, your fundamentals, and not losing sight of the fact that you have to do your job at a high level. I want to win every game. Like there's no extra motivation one week or the next to me. I know that may sound like coach speak, but it's the truth. I treat them all the same importance. They all count the same on the record. Our guys, I'd love for them to be able to, as a team, I'd love for our program to be able to experience one more game at the Vet this year with this team, with this group, and I would love to have that happen. But we have to go out and handle our business to know that's going to happen, and we were fortunate enough to do that last year. It was a very special environment and a really awesome game. It'd be nice to do it again, but we can't worry about that to get what we want. We have to just kind of worry about right where we are.
Hey, John, it's Jamal again. The way that you guys, won games this year, you mentioned on Saturday, has been a lot different than how you won them last year. But it remains the same. Being able to string together a streak of wins like this, obviously speaks to the culture of the locker room. Just the attitude and the mood never seems to change, and a lot of players kind of attribute that to your kind of like mindset. Just where did you get that mindset of, we might have lost, but or we might have won, but who knows? Like, no one really knows kind of what we did on Saturday. We just come in and work.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think probably the most impressive thing, Jamal, about our team culture and kind of what our guys have become about is starting 1-2. We've been challenged. Like, it's not gone good all the time. Like, everybody thinks just because we've been on a win streak that, man, it's just been great the whole year. We were 1-2 and 0-1 in the conference the last 2 years, right? So, like, it hadn't always gone the way maybe that you've wanted it to, or it's been ideal out of the start or out of the gate. And that's what says so much to me about the character of our team and the individuals on it, is that when you start off a little bit bumpy or a little shaky, and you just kind of stay the course. You trust the process of where we're going and how we're doing things. That says a lot. That says a ton about what our guys are about. And so I think to be able to string things together, you have to have some things go your way. It's not always we're not just that much better than everybody, And I think you have to remember that it takes what it takes to be great. We're not just that much better than anybody in any area. And so for us, it's about being very, very detailed about improvement, staying the course, not changing who you are with success or failure. There's going to be some good things happen. There's going to be some bad things happen, and our response is always good. And so I think I probably try when things aren't going well to be really positive, to be honest with you. And when things are going really good, I probably coach guys harder when things are going good.
Coach, I haven't been able to ask this question yet. Coach Gasparotto was named to the Broyles Award nominee list last week. Kind of talk about the job he's done since coming in.
Yeah, Gas done a great job. He stepped right into that role and led well here. So credit to him. It's a credit to the rest of our defensive staff as well, and our players. We've got great assistant coaches, Gas being one of them on defense. We got great players over there. Anytime you get recognition as a coach, it's because of other people around you that are helping you too. But Gas has done an outstanding job. Very grateful for his hard work. He's very meticulous in how he puts the game plan together with our defensive staff. I think he's a really good football coach. He's a really good human too. He fits our program and our culture really well, and just grateful to have him here. So glad that he made the decision to come be a part of this with us, and love watching him do his thing each week.
One more from me, John. I just want to know, I guess maybe like how you approach things this time of year. Obviously, every single year, the G5 coaches who have the success, and we start to hear the names and the chatters of you guys. Your names get kind of thrown in that hat for some of those bigger jobs, and your name is kind of one of those. I just want to know how you approach that, and maybe like your thoughts on kind of the world of college football as it sits, because this happens again like every single year. It seems like there's a coach from a G5 school, he's having success, he's leading this team, to the conference championship, and you guys are trying to focus on all of that. How do you kind of block that out and how do you see the world of college football as it sits right now in terms of how that is taking place?
Yeah, I've been asked this question. I got asked earlier today on the Sunbelt call. I addressed my name being maybe speculated with our guys last week just to make sure we took it head on. A lot of times, and I made sure we define what speculation is too. Speculation is a theory without any evidence to making that theory up. And so I think a lot of times people, there may be movement in our profession and people try to prognosticate who could be a fit somewhere else without knowing all the evidence. When a coach gets attention, it's not about the coach. And I told our team this, when you're winning as a coach in our profession, they talk about where you're going to go next when you're winning. They're already ready for you to go do the next thing. When you're losing, they can't wait to get rid of you. Like, they want you gone one or the other. You win, they think you got to leave. You lose, they think you got to leave. All right? And any attention I get is because of our staff, our players, everyone that is around our program. It's not about me. All right? And it never has been. It never will be. The team is not about one individual. I use Javon Solomon as an example of that for our team. Javon really is a 2-point stance player. That's what he's going to play in pro football, and he's going to play pro football. But our team needed him to play field end so him and Rich could get on the field at the same time. And he's done that. And so anything that comes my way, it's not about me. Like last year I got Coach of the Year. It had nothing to do with me. It's about the team. Those things are about the team. And so I'm extremely happy here. I am right where my feet are. Like, I'm focused 100% on this game this week. I want to have the best Monday practice we've had all year. I also told our guys, am I going to be 80 years old and die in Troy, Alabama? I don't know that. If I did, I wouldn't be mad. I'd be very content and pleased with that. I think I'd like to go to the beach to hang out at the end of my time, but, things come up. I'd rather them be talking about that than how can they run me out of here. And but anything comes my way, man, it's about our players. This whole thing's about the players. It ain't about me.